We do not always think of the body and mind as one interconnected system. When something hurts, we look for a physical cause. When we experience fear, stress, or sadness, we tend to see it as a psychological issue. In reality, however, our emotions, nervous system, and physical responses are constantly communicating with one another. Think about a moment when you were genuinely frightened. Perhaps your stomach tightened, your heart started racing, your breathing changed, or your muscles became tense. Even though the danger may have existed primarily in the way you perceived the situation, the physical response was completely real. Through Faster EFT, Robert Smith explores how past experiences and their emotional charge can influence the way we feel and respond in the present. For some people, powerful emotional reactions may also become associated with physical sensations and long-term tension. Emotions don't exist only in the mind. Every strong emotion has a physical component. Fear can create tension, anger can increase your heart rate, and stress can cause muscles to tighten. The nervous system prepares the body to respond to situations it believes require our attention or action. Problems may arise when the same response is triggered again and again. There does not necessarily have to be any immediate danger. Sometimes a memory, a particular person, a place, a sound, or another trigger associated with a past experience is enough. The body may then respond to something that is taking place primarily within our inner world. When a memory keeps triggering the same response, we cannot change the past itself. What we can change is the way we respond to it today. If we recall an unpleasant event and immediately experience the same tension we felt at the time, the memory is still activating a learned response. Robert Smith describes this as an emotional charge connected to an internal reference. Faster EFT, therefore, does not focus only on the story of what happened. Attention is also given to what happens inside a person when they remember the event. What image appears? What do they say to themselves? What emotion do they experience? And where do they notice it in their body? Looking beyond the symptom for connections. Robert Smith uses the idea of looking upstream. Instead of working only with the current problem, the aim is to explore experiences, patterns, and internal associations that may be contributing to the present response. Imagine a river. If debris is constantly floating downstream, we could spend our time repeatedly removing it from the water. Or we could travel upstream and discover where it is coming from. A similar principle can be applied to emotional work. Recurring fear, for example, may not be connected only to the situation in which it appears today. The present situation may resemble something much older and automatically activate a response learned years ago. What happens when the emotional charge changes? The memory does not have to disappear. A person still knows what happened, but they may discover that remembering the event no longer produces the same intensity of fear, tension, or other uncomfortable feelings. This is one of the goals of working with Faster EFT, not to erase the past, but to change the automatic response the past continues to trigger within us. As an old response becomes weaker, the nervous system has an opportunity to respond differently. Something that once automatically represented danger may no longer trigger the same internal alarm. Physical symptoms should be medically evaluated. It is important not to confuse emotional work with medical diagnosis or treatment. Bladder pain, urinary tract problems, digestive difficulties, or any other persistent or unusual physical symptoms can have many physical causes and should be evaluated by an appropriate healthcare professional. Working with the emotional side of an experience can be complementary, but it should not become a reason to ignore a physical health problem. The fact that stress and emotions can influence how our bodies feel does not mean that every health condition is caused by trauma or negative emotions. Such an oversimplification could even lead people to blame themselves instead of seeking the professional care they need. Your body is not the enemy. When physical symptoms limit us, it is easy to become frustrated with our bodies. We may feel as though the body has betrayed us, or is no longer working the way it should, but we can also look at it from another perspective. The body is constantly responding to the information it receives. The nervous system learns from our experiences and tries to protect us based on what it has previously interpreted as dangerous. Some of those responses may no longer be useful today. That does not mean they never had a purpose. At some point, they may have made perfect sense. Working with emotions is therefore not about fighting against your body. Instead, it can become an opportunity to show the mind and nervous system that an old response may no longer be necessary. Healing can also mean changing your relationship with your experience. We cannot promise that changing memories or using tapping techniques will eliminate a specific physical illness. What we can do is become more aware of the relationship between what we think, what we feel, and how our bodies respond. Sometimes the most important question is not only what is happening to my body, but also what is happening inside me when I experience this problem. That curiosity may reveal stress, fear, old memories, or learn responses that we were previously unaware of. And when we begin changing those responses, we may also change at least part of the way we experience our bodies and our lives. If you would like to explore emotional healing, personal growth, and the principles of faster EFT more deeply, you can find additional resources and ebooks that may support your journey. Enter my store.